Chapter 1 Arjun Vishad Yug. Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita is where Arjun is talking to Krishna because he is dejected and he is not sure what to do because he sees a whole, it's like a sea of people there and all of them are known to him. They're all his relatives. And he's wondering, what is he doing here? Why is he here? To fight with all these people for a piece of land, for a kingdom where he's gonna rule. What is he doing here? Isn't this what is happening to us many a times in life when we are in relationships and in many situations? We wonder, what are we doing here? Why we are here? What is it that we are required to do? So we will be trying to compare and build in an analogy to the chapters, all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita, starting with chapter 1 today, on how relationships in life today is connected with each chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the first chapter, as I just said, is Arjun Vishad Yog. And what is the context? The context is the scene is set for the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where two armies are going to engage in a war. Now, Arjun is a great warrior. He is surveying the battlefield and he tells Krishna to take him right into the middle to see what is the entire army all about. What are the themes of chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita? The themes are moral dilemma. Arjun is overcome with sorrow and compassion. He is feeling conflicted about killing his own kinsmen, teachers and friends. Second is despondency, which means Arjun he expresses that he's not able to perform this duty as a warrior due to that emotional turmoil and confusion. And third is non-violence versus duty. Arjun's dilemma is the conflict between non-violence, ahimsa, and the duty, which is dharma. And we all know that Arjun finally did fight because Krishna did the entire dialogue with him and he made a lot of revelations. So let's see how these things in today's context, in today's world and time matter. We all in life are in moral dilemma at many places. We are also overcome with compassion and sorrow. Why? In relationships for that matter, when people are not supporting us, not understanding us, not trusting us, and relationships are not going the best, we are all caught in moral dilemma. And here with Arjun, it was Duryodhan. Duryodhan was the one who was not able to understand that he was completely wrong. I hope you also have faced the times when your own people around you, they can't understand you, they can't relate to what you're saying because they are too overcome by the truth and the righteousness of what they are saying. I'm not saying that we or you are all the time right. When you think you're right and when you have contemplated it well, you have understood it well and you are like, I'm doing everything right, what I'm doing is justified, but people are not able to understand me, people are not standing by me, people are blaming me for things. That's the time when you are also stuck. You don't know what to do, whether you should leave your relationships and move on because people are not able to understand, or like Arjun, should you stand in front of them and fight it out with them in the rightful ways? Because toxicity of relationships is something which is very killing. So moral dilemmas are happening in the life today also. But they are moral dilemmas of different kind. We are not in a battlefield the way Arjun was. He had the whole army standing in front of him and his own people who were ready to fight with him. But here in life, we have a battlefield of a different type. Mental battles are being fought today. When you're made to feel bad for whatever you're doing, what happens? You're in a dilemma. Whether you should speak it out, whether you should talk to the other person, whether you should make your point or shut up because your relationship is very important to you. And when you really shut up when you're wrong, it still makes sense because you're trying to let it seep in. But when you shut up, and you don't speak when you're right and the other side is wrong, you will be in moral dilemma, isn't it? So Arjun is making things clear. Second point which we talk of is despondency. Why Arjun is unable to perform his duty as a warrior? Because he is under emotional turmoil and confusion. And in life, when we are in our relationships, we are overcome by such emotional upheavals, such confusions of relationships, that many a times we are like thinking, what to do? Where to go? Are we actually in the right relationship? Why is this relation giving me so much stress when I know I'm doing my best? Why is it that I'm not feeling happy the way I should be? That emotional turmoil really takes a toll on the personal and professional self of a human being. And you are completely caught up. And that's where the despondency, that feeling that you are not able to do the things right because you don't know where to go, what route to take, because your emotions overtake your rational thinking. And when rational thinking is overtaken by your emotions, there is nowhere to go, right? Third point, as we were talking about, was non-violence versus duty. Arjun thinks that he's going to kill all of these people for no reason. So many people will be killed, dying, just because they are standing in the battlefield and fighting with Duryodhan, who could not give them their own right, which was a kingdom, or as Yudhishthir being the elders, honoring him as an elder brother and making him the king. So here, Arjun is wanting not to kill people because he feels that that is non-violence. So here the tussle is between non-violence and duty, and happens with us also. Many a times we are caught between our kids, what to do, where to, which child to non-violence and duty. And the tussle has been going on ever since Mahatma Gandhi brought the idea of non-violence. When you talk about non-violence and you're trying to counter your enemy, or the person who is trying to torture you, or the person who is trying to, show his might by trying to put you down, should you resort to non-violence, or your duty demands to do otherwise? Your duty demands to stand up tall, make yourself strong, and fight it out with that person. And I think this dilemma continues, whether you should be non-violent. And yes, Sanatan Dharma tells us to be non-violent. Here also you will see Krishna is not telling Arjun to just go get non-violent for the heck of it, for any reason, just go non-violent and do anything and everything, just disturb people who are peacefully living, who are very good, just to have fun or just to have supremacy. That is never the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. But when you talk about non-violence here non-violence is not about killing people who are innocent, who are not doing any wrong. Here, the duty is supreme for Arjun, as Krishna says, that you have to go fight it out because your right to live peacefully has been taken. Your justified right of Yudhishthir being king has been taken. And Duryodhan's ego has made people to suffer. So you will have to stand up and fight against injustice. So injustice cannot be tolerated. And that's what the chapter 1 talks about. And we will be moving on to chapter 2 in the next episode. But major takeaways from this episode, chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, is moral dilemma, despondency, and it's a fight between duty and non-violence, which in case to Arjun it looks as that he's going to be killing people, and it is a non-violent, it is a violence, it is a kind of a violence that he's going to perform. And Krishna has otherwise thought, because he knows that this is not a fight of violence, this is a fight of justified And that's why Arjun will have to stand and fight. And that is why when we in our lives are faced with the situations where people are trying to put us down, they're trying to make fun of us in relationships, in professional or personal relationships, they are trying to achieve their supremacy by putting us down, and we let them be. Here, we are not talking about violence on a battlefield. Arjun's duty was different, those were different times. But here also, if somebody is involving in a verbal war or trying to put you down, make you feel bad because of their words, their verbal altercations, or their verbal misuse, you will have to stand up. You will have to draw your boundary. You will have to tell them to respect for who you are and not take you for granted. And that is what is the take of chapter 1 from Bhagavad Gita, according to me. If there are any comments, if there are any feedback which you want to give, anything which you want to add, or anything which you think you want to contradict, please comment us or email it to us, because we all are in the phase of learning. We are all trying to understand life in the best of the ways, live the best of the ways, doing the best, living in harmony, as we are saying, Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means we all are one. So we have to learn to live in harmony and not fight against each other, be with each other, respect each other. But if it is not done, there will be chaos, there will be problem, and somebody will have to stand up to fight the cause of justice. Namaskar.